Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
Well, hello. It's 8:37 and it's O'Connor and Company with your morning pals, Larry and Patrice. Good Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Sure, it's happy. Why not? It's going to be a hot one, so please be careful. Heat advisories going on. Things are always hot when we have Chuck Thies in town. He always brings the heat. He, of course, a political analyst who knows where all the bodies are buried in the District of Columbia. Good morning, Chuck.
Well, good morning, you guys. And indeed, it will be a scorcher today.
Where to begin? I mean, when we last had you on, I asked you sort of at the end of our conversation, are we going to get this deal on the stadium? You said guaranteed, and it looks like they do have their deal. It's going to be voted on next week. So what about the new wrinkle where Trump is saying, yeah, change the name to Redskins? Is that gonna mess things up here, or depending on your perspective, make things even better?
Well, the name of the team is something for fans of the team and ultimately the owners of the team to decide, I suppose. The president certainly is entitled to his opinion and can weigh in, and his opinion has a lot of force. I don't think the team is going to change the name. I don't think it's going to be important in terms of getting this deal across the finish line or into the end zone, as they say. But it added a wrinkle. It certainly added a little drama to the debate. But it's a sideshow, and I don't think the team wants to go through the hassle, and I don't think the league wants to be involved in
Chuck,
hassle.
They will sell 100,000 T-shirts, jerseys, and baseball hats.
They probably would.
Hassle.
Well, but they make plenty of money on merchandising, and you can buy throwback uniforms still. They haven't banned the uniform. They just don't use the name in marketing or on the field. So it's a hassle to change the name. It actually requires approval from all the other owners, the league. There's a process. And I just don't see it happening. I could be wrong, but at least I did predict that the deal would be completed, and it's going to be.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, Chuck, to your point, I'm reading through the Washington Post where some other policy lawmakers say they're still not they're not fully on board. They want to see some more concessions in the deal, some more demands for improving it, including, I guess, a stronger labor agreement and more substantial rent from the team. So they want more money from the Commanders if this is going to go through. Do you see that happening, or do you see that the August 1st vote by the council will probably just be a rubber stamp on what Mendelson has put forward?
Well, there's at least two council members that have called this Mendelson's deal. And that's Charles Allen, who is quoted in the Post, and Zachary Parker, Ward 5 council member. And they do want more concessions, and they do want more revenue and more housing and a better deal for labor unions. It does require a two-thirds majority for Mendelson to get this deal done. Because it's kind of esoteric. There's basically tax breaks that the team is getting that the chief financial officer says are not necessary, and therefore it requires a supermajority of the council. So this isn't a slam dunk, but I really don't think Mendelson would have gone through the trouble of holding a press conference and rolling out this deal if he couldn't count enough votes to get it done. So there may be some amendments that are put forward. A lot of this is virtue signaling or pandering to interest groups. I don't think anyone in the council seriously wants this deal to not get done and to have it hang over their heads in the autumn.
As we know, Chuck, the way the district council goes about their business is different than any other major city in America. There's congressional oversight here. And apparently, they've been having secret planning meetings. They're angry that President Trump has signed an executive order demanding that the city, literally clean up the sidewalks in the streets and improve the crime rates. So they've been meeting in secret. I see Senator Mike Lee of Utah is putting forward a bill trying to stop these meetings from happening. What's at play here exactly?
I was kind of surprised when Phil Mendelson, the chairman of the council, put forward this rule change. It was his initiative, and it was basically, like you said, to have secret meetings. And he even said to have secret meetings to discuss how we deal with the new dynamic, which means, of course, a Congress controlled by Republicans and President Trump. And I was really surprised that he did this, because the council has always been one of the more transparent bodies. Now, that doesn't mean that lawmakers don't get together and sometimes have discussions about official business and policy in private. Of course that happens. And of course, those discussions are technically subject to open meetings laws. But what Mendelson did was exempt meetings from open meetings laws so that they could have conversations about anything, including how our money is spent or how laws are made, without any record. And to be honest, well, it is ridiculous. And to be honest, it's a good thing for other legislative bodies, in this case, a joint resolution by the Senate and the House, to say, no, you shouldn't be doing this.
That's right.
You should be.
What have they got to hide?
Well, exactly. What have you got to hide? And so what I would like to do is see the council eliminate this rule on its own. I would like them to understand that this was a bad idea and do it on their own. And they may. They may.
If they're smart, they would, because they keep talking about how they want autonomy and they want it. Well, then maybe you should act like grown-ups without having the Congress tell you what to do. Chuck, real fast, and I do mean real fast, when Initiative 82 was first proposed, that has to do with the minimum wage for restaurant workers and tips. We said this is going to result in the closing of restaurants. And, well, lo and behold, look at this. Nearly twice as many restaurants closed in D.C. this year than at the same point last year. It's one of the worst years since the COVID pandemic. Are they going to budge on this?
So what the council is going to do is pass a new law that adds more math and more formulas and more nonsense to this whole mess, as opposed to eliminating it. So what they're going to do is they're going to take something that's broken and try to fix it by breaking it more. They're not going to fix this. Restaurants are going to still suffer, and customers are going to still be angry that there's hidden fees and surcharges. The only way to solve this problem is to go back to the original way of managing restaurants, which is, of course, waiters and waitresses get tipped. It was simple. Yeah. It worked. It worked for decades.
It works everywhere else in the country.
Exactly.
And by the way, you just said restaurants close, and who suffers? The people who work in the restaurants, who are now out of work. But the district council feels good about themselves. All right. Thanks, Chuck. Always good to talk to you. Stay cool today. It is 8:44.